Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to Team VRY. And so with the launch of the Google Pixel 9a, we do have a really capable mid-range handset from Google, and it does come with a lot of the great features found on more expensive Pixel devices for a considerably lower price. With that said, it is still a bit more expensive at around $500 at least at the time of this video. And if you want to go for a much more affordable Pixel phone, then you might want to consider the Google Pixel 7a. Now the 7a was launched a couple years back, and if you're wondering whether or not to get one in 2025, then hopefully this video can help you guys out with that decision. Now we have covered this phone before, as well as a ton of other Google Pixel smartphones here on this channel, and if you want to check those out, I will drop some links in the description below. With that said, is the Google Pixel 7a still worth it in 2025? Let's take a look. Alright, so one of the biggest considerations as to why you should probably get the Pixel 7a is that it's a lot cheaper now, going for around £250 here in the UK, and I assume around the US you can probably get it for around $250 or maybe even cheaper, especially if you're getting it from third-party retailers. Now this is half the price of the Google Pixel 9a and around $100 cheaper than the Pixel 8a. With that said though, with a price well below $300, you're getting a pretty good deal with the Pixel 7a. And of course, it's still getting updates. So originally, Google launched the phone with a promise of 3 years of major Android upgrades. But over the past year, Google did update its support, which now goes up to 5 years of major Android upgrades for the Pixel 7a. So you're gonna get Android OS updates until 2028 with this device. And of course, with this software support, you're getting the essential Pixel quality of life features like call screening, Google's impressive voice typing, and monthly software updates with occasional feature drops. And when combined with the overall clean software of the Pixel devices, it does make it ideal for practical daily use, at least as far as Android smartphones go. Now of course, with the older Tensor G2 chip, it is not the most powerful Pixel device out there, but based on my usage, it's been generally stable. My daily usage with the Pixel 7a has been pretty much okay without any serious problems. And of course, the biggest highlight of this device is the camera performance. Now it does come with a 64 megapixel main camera as well as a 13 megapixel ultra-wide lens. And for point and shoot photography, like I say with a lot of other Pixel devices, the 7a is great for casual photos, especially if you plan to upload these to social media, for example, as Google's camera software does manage to bring out the best in still photos. And while it does lack some of the newer camera features like the Add Me functionality in the Pixel 9 series, the overall quality of photographs that you're gonna get from the Pixel 7a will look pretty great. This goes the same for portrait photography, night sight, and while video capture isn't the best, you do get 4K resolution recording at both 30 or 60 frames per second. And yeah, in general, it's a capable camera phone, which ties into the overall practicality of the device. It doesn't hurt that it's also a compact size, as a lot of other affordable smartphones out there do go for larger screen sizes, which hover around the 6.6 to 6.7 inch range and maybe even larger, which does make the Pixel 7a one of the more affordable compact smartphones on the market right now. So yeah, with the clean software, the great camera performance, the length of software support, and the cheaper price all make for an appealing Android smartphone. With that said though, it's not a perfect device, and we have to point out some of the downsides of getting a Pixel 7a in this day and age. For one, the display isn't the best. It does come with a lower 90Hz refresh rate, so if you're used to displays with higher refresh rates such as 120Hz or maybe even 144Hz, the Pixel 7a might seem a bit of a downgrade, and is not a terribly bright display either. For example, the Pixel 8a screen does go up to 2000 nits of peak brightness, which is around twice the brightness of the Pixel 7a, so make of that what you will. Additionally, the battery endurance on this phone isn't the most impressive. Sure, for moderate tasks, it will generally last you a day's worth of use, but it does struggle if you're ever going to use it with heavy data use. Maybe you're outdoors and you need it for GPS navigation or using the data for constant internet access and occasional photography. You might have to charge twice in one day, at least speaking from personal experience. It also charges a bit slower, so again, if you're used to other phones with faster charging speeds, then that's something to take note of with the Pixel 7a. Now in terms of performance, going back to the Tensor G2, like I said earlier, it is a capable chip for stable everyday use, but if you're planning to run heavy games on this phone like Genshin Impact for example, it might struggle a bit with that. Now it's going to be able to run those kinds of games as well as most other titles on the Google Play Store. But when it comes to sustained performance, if you're gaming for maybe more than an hour, then you might notice that it gets a bit warmer than other phones out there. And this also ties into the battery, which will of course drain faster with this kind of usage. Additionally, there has been some problems with the battery on the Pixel 7a. Now Google did announce a replacement or repair program, so you're gonna have to check the IMEI number on the Pixel 7a if it falls within the affected batch of units, in which case you're entitled to a replacement battery or financial compensation. Now I did buy a new Pixel 7a for this year, and unfortunately the IMEI number check says that my phone isn't affected by these battery issues. It should be noted though that not everyone is affected by this issue, but yeah, this is a major consideration with this device. One final point of consideration is the biometric hardware on the Pixel 7a. The fingerprint sensor isn't the fastest out there. It might take you a couple of tries every now and then to get it to read your fingerprint properly. And the face unlock is a more basic one compared to the Pixel 8 series and the Pixel 9 series. The Pixel 7a doesn't come with class 3 face unlock, so you're not going to be able to use this for bank transactions and stuff like that, and you'll still need to use the fingerprint sensor for those kinds of security measures. Now at the end of the day, it's important to note that this video is based on my personal experience, and so far with the daily performance that I'm getting from the Pixel 7a, the quality of life features and the other practical software tricks that this phone has, as well as the impressive camera quality, I do think that it's a pretty great device to get in 2025, especially if you want to go for a much more affordable Pixel phone and you want to get into Google's hardware ecosystem. With that said though, there are some key considerations that we mentioned, and you might want to keep this in mind if you're planning on getting the Pixel 7a. Alright guys, so that does it for this quick video. Let me know what you think about the phone in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.